Today there is something I really want to show you, an all-electric Super Mini. This is the Peugeot e-208. This thing is the best out of its category, and I'm going to tell you why. So in this video today, I'm going to give you the 3 best features about this car and a couple of things that I'm not so sure on. Number 1 has to be the appearance and the aesthetic of the exterior of this car. It looks great. It's so much fun to look at. Look at these giant saber-tooth teeth down the side and the claw marks there. It's definitely taken inspiration from some of the kings of the jungle, should we say. And it doesn't look like an electric car. The diesel and petrol variants of this car are exactly the same. There's only a few little subtle tweaks you can tell the electric version, and that is the little blue hues here and accents on the line, and you have got the E-badge as well. But I like the grille. It looks great. It doesn't look like an electric car. And if we come around the side, there's not much chrome on the car. In fact, they've de-chromed it. There's nothing there. These black mirror caps look great. These, obviously, again here, you've got the roof, which is black gloss too. Around the back of the car, again, it correlates and marries up with the front of the car. You've got these aggressive slash marks for the lights, and they look fab. They look fantastic. This is the GT line version, but it is subjective, yes, but I have impeccable taste, and this thing looks fantastic. The second best thing about this vehicle has to be its range. 217 miles Peugeot state. Yes, it's not going to get quite that, but it beats the majority of other Super Mini electric vehicles in its category. The Mini Electric, 144 miles, beats it. The BMW i3, 188, beats it. The Vauxhall Corsa E, which is technically, mechanically exactly the same as this car, 180 miles, beats it, dusts it. And this thing can take a 100 kilowatt charger as well, if you can find one. The infrastructure is getting better, but if you can find a 100 kilowatt charger, you can juice this thing up from 0 to 80% in 30 minutes. A 7.5 kilowatt charger will fill this car from 0 to 100% in 7 hours 45 minutes, and that is exactly how I see this car being charged at home from a 7.5 kilowatt wall box, just going home, plugging it in and topping up the miles you've used throughout the day. Number 3 has to be the interior, and a few little things in the interior. I'm pleasantly surprised just how impressed I am with the design and the ergonomics of this e-208. The dash is so quirky and yet simple. They call it the 3DI cockpit, and you have these 3D elements that kind of just jump out, and it's so different to experience than other dashes, and I rather like it. Yes, it's subjective. There's a few other little things like these naval aviation buttons here, taking me back to my piloting days. And you've got the cup holders, and you've also got a little charging point here for your phone, wireless point. I mean, I can't be the only one. This is pretty impressive, right? Let me know in the comments. Right, let's move on to things that I'm really not sure about. What even is this? So you buy an electric vehicle, you get some cables, and they give you a Peugeot bag. My boot is 311 litres. So what? You're telling me that that bag there has to live there in the boot. How has that slipped through the design team? I mean, my mind is blown. All you need to do is get rid of this outer casing, lift up the bottom part here of this tray, and design a recessed tunnel in there for the chargers to go, for the battery cables. I mean, do you know what? Do you think that is acceptable? That's what I want to know. It's a huge point for me, because other manufacturers have designed little cubby holes in the boot, in the front, so you don't need to see the cables and you can come out. That looks busy and messy, and quite frankly, that is one of the things I really don't like. Let me know what you think in the comments. Another thing that really winds me up is when you buy an electric vehicle, you should get a certain amount of charging cables. Let's see what we have with Peugeot. Open up this bag, which we know isn't great, and we've got brilliant one lot of cables. We are not quite there yet, are we? Where is the 3-point pin charger? What if I go to my granny's house and I need a little bit of extra juice? You think she's got a wall box? No, she hasn't. She's got an old school 3-point pin Bakelite plug. I need a 3-point pin plug. You can't get away with just giving me one cable. What do you mean, who do you think you are, Peugeot? I'm absolutely making this car sound immense and spectacular, and you've done well with the design, you really have. But you've let yourself down just a little bit with the design fault of the bag, keeping it in the back of this 311 litre boot, and give me one charger cables. It's just not good enough. Right, so I'm in the Peugeot e-208 and it is Diddy. It's really cute and I'm loving the 3D dash eye cockpit is really good. It's really crisp, the numbers are great. This car's got 136 brake horsepower, 3 modes here which you can change, drive mode. So you've got sport, eco and normal mode. Now when you're in sport mode you have that full 136 brake horsepower. So let's just put it into sport and just, oh, that's good. It's not too much of a oomph. It's very gradual, but it's good. This is the quickest one out of the variants of the other cars, the petrol and the diesel. But do you know what? I'm kind of liking it. I wasn't sure about the steering wheel. It's very small and Diddy, and you look over the top of the steering wheel rather than through the middle. It's got a 50 kilowatt battery, and you can charge it from 0 to 80% with a 100 kilowatt charger in 30 minutes. And you can also charge it with a 7.5 kilowatt charger from 0 to 100% in 7 hours 45 minutes, is where I see this car being used mostly, with a 7.5 kilowatt charger at home, topping up those miles you've used in the day. Overall, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. And I'm a techie guy. I love the digital cockpit. I think Peugeot have done a really cool job here. I've been in some cars and the digital cockpit has just been lackluster. There's been no design. And this is, the 3D aspect it's rather fun. So with the dash you have a number of different options as well. You can fully customize it. You can use the little spindly wheel here to choose personal 1, personal 2, energy, and it changes. You've got a 3D visual of the car and you can see when it's regenerative braking, when you're coasting or braking, putting the energy back into the battery pack. That is a very cool visual. The interior, I rather like. It is subjective, but when I turn my head left, I get flashes of this sort of fluoro green stitching, which looks good on the seats. This is the GT line. There's only one more trim that is premium to this, and that is just the standalone GT. And if you're looking for one now, I think there's even, they call it the GT Premium on the Peugeot website. So I spec'd one of these up for a GT Peugeot e-208 and it came to £30,445. This is up for Jardine Select. Details will be below, for around £24,995, and it has got 5,000 miles on the clock, but it is impeccable. The bodywork, no scratches, the interior is great, the handling, brilliant, small and direct. It is a super mini, you have to remember that. So the space in the back is somewhat, you know, a little bit not big. But again, if you're buying a super mini car, rear seats are the least of your worries. You know, you go for a bigger car. But overall, I'm really impressed. I think it's great. Like I said before, we've got those 3 modes: sport, normal, and eco. Eco is obviously the best mode if you want to maximise your range. Every time you go down, you drop about 30 brake horsepower, and then when you're in sport mode, that's when you get that 136 brake horsepower. And it's not the quickest, but it does pull, and you know what? It is fun. It is fun, and I'm rather enjoying myself in this e-208. And I do think in the super mini all-electric category, this is the top pick. It really is. I mean, look at my smile. I'm having such, and it's small and Diddy on the road. It's just comfy and cozy. It feels like a warm bowl of soup. That's a weird analogy, I know, but it's just a cool little car. So I think really, there's only one thing left to say. I think that this car is going to do extremely well for Peugeot. As soon as people start comparing the other cars that are in this category, where they go in a Vauxhall Corsa E or a Mini Electric or even a Honda E, which I think is kind of cute as well. But I think when they step into this and they give this a drive, the Peugeot e-208 is going to do rather well. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed my time in the e-208. Time to head back to Jardines and do a little bit of a roundup. So let's summarise what we have found out today. I've given you the 3 best things that I love about this car, and a few things, well, got me a little bit angry, let's say. But in my opinion, I think this, the Peugeot e-208, is the best super mini car in its category. I would love to know what you think. Yes, it's subjective. It's currently available to buy at Jardines for just under 25k, which I think is an absolute snip for such a futuristic car right now. As always, let me know what you think about the car in the comments below. Throw me a like, get subbed, and I'll see you on the next one.